Hi everyone, it's Anthony back with another video, and this time around I am all set to do my April 2020 Get Unready with Me videos. So we're going to go through my current nighttime routine, and it's actually, compared to what I normally use, pretty minimal. I'm actually going to be transitioning into using a product that contains tretinoin. It's the Curology customized lotion or serum. That'll be coming in tomorrow. So over the past week and a half, I've really been kind of reducing the amount of products that have AHA, BHA, those types of things from my routine. So this is actually the last routine that will have some physical and chemical exfoliation in it. Tomorrow I'll start the Curology, and so I just want to give my skin some time to kind of react to that if it's going to react, kind of adjust to that new environment. And then I'll slowly work in some of the other products that I typically use in my routine. So AHA, BHA, some physical exfoliator. Since tretinoin is a form of retinol, I probably will eliminate all retinol products, other retinol products from my routine while I'm using it, and I'll probably really start to stagger my other exfoliations. So rather than doing like AHA one night, BHA the next night, then we'll do a physical scrub, then we'll do this, like I'm really gonna keep it to bare minimum. So you probably won't see a lot of chemical exfoliator reviews from me for a little while, until maybe a month, 2 months, when my skin kind of starts to adjust to that new ingredient being applied to it. So that's that. I just kind of, preamble, because this is a fairly minimal routine compared to some of the other Get Unready videos that you've seen with me. So let's jump right in. The first product that I'm using is, of course, my oil cleanser, and I am currently using the Banila Co. Clean It Zero Cleansing Balm. This is the revitalizing version. So this one is not the original. I think the original is in the pink. So this one, according to the brief description I read on SocoGlam, is geared more towards oil control or oily skin, as well as providing some antioxidant benefits. So it has the same ingredients, or a lot of the same ingredients as the original, but there's also grapevine extract, grape root extract, resveratrol in here. So a lot of like grape-based ingredients, which I'm assuming you're supposed to, impart those antioxidants. I don't know exactly what in here is geared specifically towards oily skin or oil control. And so I'll go ahead and apply it and show you the texture. Let me grab a spoon. So I don't have a ton left, but it looks identical to the Clean It Zero original. And I'll wash my hands as well. It has a really similar texture. The consistency is really, really similar as well. And to me, the scent is kind of similar. I remember the Clean It Zero original having a bit of a kind of slightly clean, but also kind of berry, maybe a fruit or berry scent slightly. Just drying off my hands. And this kind of has that same kind of scent. It smells the same to me as the original. It might be slightly different. It's been quite some time since I've used the original. But same method. You're just going to take a nice dollop of your cleansing balm and just apply that to your hands, and just kind of get that spread out into like kind of an oil consistency. And then I usually massage for a minute or so, just to work off all of that sunscreen. If you're a makeup wearer, then you're going to be working off all of your makeup. But just like the original, I found this product to be really good at just instantly breaking up my sunscreen. Today, I have been outside for 2 walks with the dog, and then I was outside helping my roommate with some landscaping stuff that they're working on. So I've applied sunscreen, I think 3 times today. Just 10 minutes or so before I go outside each time I go outside. So yeah, about 3 layers of sunscreen on today. And it just it doesn't feel like it's starting to get thick or I need to reach for more product. It just melts through absolutely everything. Like I said, I'm not too sure about how that works on makeup, especially like eye makeup and lip products, but for me, it really does the job well. And it just glides really smoothly. I don't feel like I'm tugging at my skin. There's been a couple oil cleansers that I've used where they almost feel like they absorb a little bit. So there's not a lot of that like bloop, that slide. So there was just more friction using some of those products. This one, you know, your eyes, if you do get it into your eyes, you're gonna get that blurriness, but I don't notice any stinging. And I'm pretty good about like keeping it out of my eyes. So that's that for the oil cleanse, for applying it and massaging it. And then to emulsify, I think that's the biggest selling point for Vanilla Co. Cleansing balms, is they just emulsify and turn milky just instantly. So I'm gonna go ahead and emulsify this product so you can just see it doesn't take a lot of work to get it to just kind of turn right into that milky, watery consistency and start kind of rolling off the skin. So I'm gonna rinse this, I'll probably fast forward and then we'll keep going. Okay. So yeah, it just rinses so cleanly and so quickly compared to some of the other oil cleansers I've used. As far as final thoughts on it, I've been using it for a month as of today, and I like it just as much as I liked the original, which is pretty well, but this one in particular is, depending on where you get it, there is an upcharge for the revitalizing version or the other versions outside of the original. I got this as a free gift on Soko Glam. However, otherwise it's $24 and the original is $19 on their site. And I honestly don't see any difference between the two. The extracts and the other added ingredients here haven't really done anything to like drastically change my skin that the original cleansing balm wouldn't have done. So I would say save the $5 or, you know, wherever you're getting it. If it's more expensive to go for this version, I know there's 3 other versions other than this in the original. So at least for this one, it's not really worth it for me to spend that extra money. So I would pick the original. My top cleansing balms above the Clean at Zero is the Aromatica Orange Cleansing Sherbet. That one's a step above this. The ingredients are just a little bit more, less likely to cause some irritation maybe. There is added fragrance here, although that one does have essential oil, but I just like it. It's a bigger tub. I like the scent. I like the result better. And then my favorite of all time is still the Then I Met You, the Living Cleansing Balm. It's just so much more like high quality feeling than this. It has this like thicker, more like kind of, I don't know, it's got a stiffer consistency and yet it melts down really nicely. It smells incredible and it leaves a lot of natural nourishment behind. So I'd say Then I Met You #1, Aromatica's Orange Sherbet Cleansing Balm, and then the Vanilla Co. Original would be my 3rd favorite, but still a decent product. I just didn't see that much of a difference. So that's that for step 1. The next step is going to be my water-based cleanser, and right now I am using the Rovectin Skin Essentials Conditioning Cleanser. This is a product that was recommended by Eunice on her channel, Uni. She really raves about this, and it's been her go-to cleanser for, I think, the better part of a year. I think she started talking about it late summer last year, maybe fall last year, as just being incredibly gentle and still thoroughly cleansing while leaving a lot of moisture or hydration behind. So it's kind of that perfect balance between cleansing thoroughly but not stripping. And so I decided to go for this one because I think it might be a really good option when I start using the Curology, because I think I'm gonna want a lot of soothing products, nothing too harsh, a lot of hydration, that type of thing. So that's what I'm going for. I've only been using it for a couple days because I didn't want to use it all up before the Curology gets here, but I did want to get my skin kind of used to it. So I'll go ahead and use this. All you have to do is kind of dampen the skin. Usually I'd go right into this without so much talking after the Clean at Zero. But I'll go ahead and apply a little water. I don't even use a full pump. I just kind of do like a 1/2 or 3/4, and then get it a little frothy in the hands. It doesn't create a lot of foam or a lot of lather right out of the gate, but once you apply it to the skin and just kind of slowly work it around, be as gentle as you can, then it does start to lather up. And what I like is the lather, even though there's not a ton of it in volume necessarily, like it's not very visible, what is there is very dense. Like it feels like a thicker foam, even though it doesn't look like it. So it just feels really gentle. My eyes don't burn with this product. You know, if I do get some in my eyes, it's just very, very approachable. There's no real discernible scent. I'll have to check and see if there's essential oils in there. I don't believe so, but don't quote me on that. There might be, but there's no real scent. It just kind of smells like a basic cleanser, maybe ever so slightly citrusy, maybe. But other than that, there's no real scent to it. And I like that even though there's not a lot of foam, that lather that is there doesn't just like absorb into the skin and dry up. It kind of just floats around for a while, so you have some time to work with it. I always get my hairline, especially now that I've been trying to like run and take the dog, I get a little bit of some breakouts here from where I sweat. So I really try to get that hairline. And other than that, that's it. So, you know, you add a little bit more water and it does lather up a bit. So yeah, that's it. That's probably as much as I do. Once again, just like, you know, a minute or so. And then we're gonna go ahead and rinse this. All right, so that's done. Tonight, I'm gonna be doing a physical mask kind of for the last time for a little bit until I can kind of gauge how my skin's doing with Curology. And so in order to do that, this mask, you do start off with a dry face. In fact, I could have probably done this as my oil cleansing step, and we'll talk about why I could have done that. But I added on in my exfoliation step, even though it could do both. So I'm gonna pat my face dry because you do want to start with a fairly dry face. It can be damp or moist, but it can't be like dripping wet. I'd usually leave my skin this wet and go right into my toner. I found that my skin responds so much better to hydrating toners if I leave my skin just a little wet. I feel like especially those hydrating toners with hyaluronic acid or polyglumatic acid, they grab all of this water and just hold it. And then I can put my serums and lotion or moisturizer on top and just locks in all of this, and my skin has just been so much more happy for it. But for the purposes of tonight, I need to have a fairly dry face. So I have these towels. I just use them once and then I pop them in the hamper to be washed. So they're just one-time use. I use them once for a routine if I'm going to use them at all, and then I don't use them again. So, and they stay in a clean, cool, dry drawer, and I just use them one at a time just to prevent bacteria buildup, that type of thing. So now that my face is fairly dry, I can go in with my physical exfoliator. And tonight I'm gonna be using the I'm From Fig Scrub Mask. So like I said, this is a scrub-based mask that can technically be used as your oil cleansing steps. So this would be the first thing you do on your dirty skin, and use this, and then I'll show you how it rinses, and then you'd move on. But that's what it looks like. I've only used it a few times. It's got fig extract in it, I believe, and it's also got a sugar base. That's the sugar base that it's made out of. It has a lot of other hydrating and nourishing ingredients. And this whole line from I'm From is pretty new, and it's all geared towards revitalizing the skin, anti-aging, and I think brightening as well. So there's the mask, the scrub mask, a cleansing balm, as well as an essence. So you have 3 products in the Fig line from I'm From. This is another product that I picked up from Wish Trend, and it has a really nice, I'm assuming there's a little bit of that kind of buttery, yet kind of raisiny scent that reminds me of fig. And then it has like a slight floralness to it as well. So let's grab that. So I've got a first dollop here. I haven't really figured out exactly how much I need per application. I've just been kind of going for it. And then I'm just applying with my fingers a really thin layer on my skin. So I'll do this for my whole face. It really smells nice. I'm not a big fan of floral scents necessarily, but this one doesn't fully tip into like perfume, potpourri, rose petal mode, there's just this like butteriness to it that kind of keeps it from full on going into perfume that I really like. And it's just it's a complex scent, and I really like it. I could see some people not getting along with it necessarily, but I'm a fan. I don't mind it. So I'm curious to see what the cleansing balm and the essence smell like, because usually, at least from what I've heard and what I've smelled just from my products in my stash from the masks are usually the potent products. Like for instance, from the mugwort line, I'm using the essence, we'll get there, but the mugwort mask is like really intensely smells of mugwort and has that earthy scent, but the essence is kind of not quite as intense. So I'm very curious to see what the rest of that is like. So with this mask, you can either go ahead and start massaging this in. You can see the sugar crystals on my skin. You can massage this in gently. It will give you a mild exfoliation, and then you'll go right into emulsifying and rinsing it off. Or alternatively, you can leave this on for 10 to 15 minutes. All of those nourishing ingredients that we talked about, even the sugar itself has a light exfoliation, not as a physical exfoliant, but the sugar, just like sugarcane extract, acts like a really mild AHA kind of. So you can get a little bit of a chemical exfoliation from it, very, very mild, very gentle. Once you're done, then you come in, give it a massage as you're emulsifying it, and that'll slough away the dead skin. So you have your choice on how long you want to use this and what benefits you want. I could absolutely just go scrub, 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 and rinse and then be done. But I've got time, so I will put you guys on hold while I wait 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what this looks like once we start to rinse it. So stay tuned. Bye. All right, I am back. So it's been, I think 12 minutes since I put this on. Didn't do the full 15, which I think the box says you can go up to 15. But if you're just, if somehow you skipped this far, just to reiterate, I'm using the I'm From Fig Scrub Mask. So the mask, like I said, still is gonna have those sugar crystals on it. It hasn't really been emulsified yet. And so you're just gonna take a little bit of warm water, and it's gonna emulsify just like an oil cleanser. So like I said, you could replace your oil cleansing step on the nights that you do this with the scrub and have zero issues. It's gonna rinse off very cleanly, but it emulsifies, kind of turns into that milky water. But as you're doing that, you're massaging it to kind of work that sugar away, and that's what's giving you that light physical exfoliation, that scrubbing action. But as you're adding water, the sugar is melting. So it's not as intense as those sugar scrubs that have really thick crystals of sugar that almost feel a little scratchy. Of course, anytime you're doing physical exfoliation, it's all about how you handle the product. So I'm not like pressing into my skin. I'm just kind of gliding my hands over it and just letting that sugar just kind of roll around a little bit without really putting any pressure at all into it. So anytime people say, oh, sugar scrub's not for me, and I used to physical exfoliations aren't for me. I used to be in that camp too, because I, jumped on the whole St. Ives apricot scrub is the devil or whatever. But to be honest, any physical exfoliation that you do, it has the potential to hurt your skin. It's all a matter of how you approach them, If you're just like pressing and like really getting that scrub so your skin's just like beet red when you're done, then that's going to be a problem no matter what product you're bringing to your routine. It's all just about how you approach it, how gentle you are with your skin, and just be mindful that when you're using something like that, you have to take extra care not to potentially harm your skin. So especially for me, someone that has combination oily skin, I feel like my skin turnover is just like on a higher level than some people. I really do need some kind of physical scrub here and there to help keep things moving and grooving, so to speak. So let me just finish rinsing this. As you can see at this point, there's no sugar. It's just a milky kind of fluid now. So, you know, there's not really, it really prevents you from potentially over exfoliating, because at a certain point, it's just like a creamy, milky fluid. So let me finish this and then we'll be done. All right, so that's that. I'm using my little one-time use towel. Actually, I'm gonna move right into my toner, so I'm gonna leave this. So typically what I would do if my skin's this wet and I'm moving into a toner is I'll just kind of move it around, pat it, get a little bit of it to kind of dry up, but for the most part, it's just about kind of pressing and moving it around so it's all the water's evenly distributed. It's not like dripping, it's all kind of spread out. So it's about good. I didn't mean to leave the water running that long. I typically try to just work through that, but I got a little chatty. Typically I try not to waste that much water, but so the toner that I'm using tonight is the Rovectin Skin Essentials Activating Treatment Lotion. It's clear and there's text on both sides, so it's like impossible to kind of get a good read on that. But this is from obviously the same line as the Rovectin Skin Essentials cleanser that I used previously. Another one highly, highly recommended by Eunice of Uni on her YouTube channel. This is also one of the, I think, a fairly recent curation on Soko Glam. I think it's maybe a few months old, maybe from last year. But this is a hydrating toner. I'm gonna get it on while my skin's still damp. It's got a thicker consistency similar to the Klairs Supple Preparation toner in that it just has a little bit of that more like kind of thicker feel, almost kind of like a syrupy, but not quite. And this features, I believe, 7 different forms of hyaluronic acid that will all absorb into various layers of the skin. So some of it sits right on top, some of it dives a little bit deeper, all to pull moisture from the atmosphere and the water that was already on my skin while it was damp. It helps to kind of hold all that to the skin. So I'll show you real quick. It's kind of got a little bit of kind of a more syrupy consistency. I've only used it a couple days. Once again, that's something that I worked into my routine along with the cleanser. As I move into Curology and tretinoin, I think that will be a nicely hydrating yet super gentle option for a toner. So that's that for my toning step. I only do 1 layer of that because it really just soaks in and provides a lot of hydration. So I typically don't go super heavy on that. I do go a little bit heavier with my essence because I feel like that'll once again give some more fluid for that hyaluronic acid to drink up. And right now I'm using the I'm from Mugwort Essence. So this is a hydrating and calming essence, just a few drops of each of these, by the way, that I'm doing, guys. So this is a hydrating and calming essence that only features 1 ingredient, and that's the mugwort extract. So mugwort is has different names. People call it the tea tree of Korea. It's supposed to be a very, very calming and soothing herb while also offering some hydration and I believe some antioxidant benefits as well. So it's just that 1 ingredient, just mugwort extract in here, a whole bottle of it. And so far I'm liking it. I do notice that it helps fairly quickly to provide some calming and redness reduction to my skin, but I love the consistency of it. For some reason, I was thinking because it's just that single ingredient that as soon as I put it on my skin, it was just like bloop, and my skin would almost feel a little dry afterwards because there's not any hyaluronic acid, there's not any of that kind of stuff in it. But just the consistency of that essence has some slip. I'd almost think that maybe that would have a little bit of silicone in it because it initially has this kind of glide, but it doesn't. For some reason, that essence really just kind of glides and applies really nicely to the skin as compared to like just plain water. That's what I was thinking, is maybe water or even something a little astringent, because usually extracts are extracted by soaking an ingredient in something like an alcohol or a solvent. So a pure extract, I was like, okay, that might actually be kind of astringent and stripping and drying, but it's not. It's very like slippery and hydrating, gives my skin, between that and the Rovectin lotion, gives my skin a little bit of that kind of initial glow. So that's that. And tonight, since we're kind of going all out, because this is my like final hurrah before I start Curology and I might start seeing irritation and peeling, like I'm just using my fun things that I like to use because it might be some time before I get to use them again. I'm going right in with a sheet mask, which I usually do after my essence step. So tonight, we are using the Ozo or the Uzu. This is their Ozo Bare Aurora Illuminating Sheet Mask. I just finished using the Deep Space, I think it was called Pore Care, and then the other one was their hydrating one. I think it was like Aqua Bomb, maybe, hydrating. There's 3 of them at least that Ulta carries. So I got one of each. This is my last one before I put together the review. And so we're gonna use it tonight. It's kind of a big hurrah because I'm, once again, not going to be able to use them maybe for a little while. But this one, these sheet masks are pretty interesting. The brand Ozo is just really interesting anyway because they do a lot of weird stuff or different stuff with their masks. So there's an injection one where they give you a syringe and you inject it into the mask. I've used their fresh capsules that have like a little capsule right here that you press and then it squeezes royal jelly or, you know, vitamins or whatever, an ampule into the mask. This one's similar. It has this little square section up here. You can see this has like jelly kind of serum in this. And then you squeeze this and it gets injected into the mask. So you squeeze the little bear's ear and out it comes. So this one is illuminating. So it's going to be focused on obviously brightening. I'm assuming, I haven't read over this, but we've got sodium hyaluronate, mica, titanium dioxide, which are like cosmetic brighteners, kind of give you that like sheen. Very interesting. This might have been something I probably should have used during the day, but we're gonna go for it. It has, let's see, what else do we have here? I think, rice bran water. So, okay, that makes sense. Licorice root, which is calming. I was thinking I'd see some sort of niacinamide, but I don't. But yeah, mica is more of like a cosmetic, will give you like kind of a highlighted look. So might not have been ideal for me to use this at nighttime, but we're going for it. I've committed. So the way this works is you fold once here, you fold again, and then you have to like press like crazy to get this to basically inject into the mask. So I can't do it on camera because my one complaint about these sheet masks is the amount of force that you have to use to get this serum to actually inject into the mask is kind of ridiculous. It's not easy, not nearly as easy as the other injectable masks that I've used from them. So you basically have to roll it up. I guess I can show you. So I folded it like so, and then you gotta fold it one more time and just put a lot of weight into it. There we go. Otherwise, the serum will just kind of shoot back into your folds and then you got to start again. So that one wasn't as bad. The last one I used, the Pore Care, I was like, what in the world? Like, who is putting the effort? And I was like, like trying to get it to go. But that one actually wasn't too bad. So it must just depend on the mask. So once you've done that, you just kind of do a little of this business just to work that ampoule. There's already essence in there. So basically you're just kind of blending the two. To me, this is all kind of gimmick. I don't think there's anything in that ampoule that's gonna go bad if it's already mixed with the essence. It's just that extra little bit of fun. It is more work. You know, some people might say, you know what, I just wanna open the sheet mask and put it on my face. But I think it's cute. You know, it makes you feel like you're being a little chemist, you know, making your sheet mask. So if there's too many steps, like, I'm not a big fan of multi-step masks. So masks that have a little eye cream and a little cleanser and a little lotion and a little exfoliator and then the sheet mask. I don't really go for those because that's just too many new formulations and too many new ingredients on my skin at once. Unless I was in a bind and traveling and that's all I had, maybe. But even then, like the idea of using all of those new things all at once, like, and your skin freaks, maybe your skin freaks out, you have no idea which one of those 3 or 4 steps caused it. So anytime a sheet mask has eye creams and stuff, I'll usually toss away or throw away all the other steps and just stick with the sheet mask. So this one is just a super thin cotton style sheet mask. I believe, we'll see. The other one was not in 2 parts. Let's see if this one's in 2 parts. Are you gonna open for me? Let's see, there we go. So yeah, just a single sheet mask. It's in 1 part, folded kind of oddly, but it's got the backing, and then you've got this super thin cotton style sheet mask. And I'm always so embarrassed to put on sheet masks on camera because it takes me a while to get them flattened out. I just feel like I toss it up in the air like a pizza crust and then figure it out after. But yeah, okay. Hard to do on camera as well. I'll do the best I can. I'm not a stickler for like, must be perfectly flat. As long as it's covering the surface, the majority of the surface area that it can, because I've got a big old head. That's about as best as I'm gonna do. Like my eyes always kind of, I don't know. I am not picky. I like it on my cheeks and I like it on my nose and forehead. Other than that, I'm not freaking out if it's not like perfect. So there's that. This is a cotton style sheet mask, fairly comfortable to massage out, fairly breathable, comfortable to have on, no issues there. So we're gonna leave this guy on here for, it says 10 to 20, let's go 15. The other thing I've noticed with these masks is there's not a ton of excess essence. There's a little bit, but it's not like some masks you'll squeeze it and you get like a handful of essence to spread around. This has just a little bit, and it's watery, but more in a serum-like way. It's not creamy, it's not dripping. It's just kind of like a nice serum consistency that holds well onto the mask material. So we're gonna give this about 15 minutes and we'll come back and see if we see any brightening effect. Bye. All right, everyone, I'm back. I got a little distracted, but we're just, so I don't think I quite hit 15 minutes. In fact, the timer might still be going, but I just checked it and I saw some dryness here on the hairline and around the nose too. So that's already a sign that I should have taken it off. I try to take it off the moment I see just like the teensiest bit of dryness. I like to keep a mask pretty much wet before I take it off. I don't want it to start drying out. So it looks like it left behind a decent amount of excess essence. This one's focus was on brightening and illumination. Of course, you're gonna get that from just having a mask that's decently hydrating. My telltale sign usually when a mask has really done something to help kind of lighten. Sorry, timer did go off. We were just about a minute less, so about 14 minutes, is usually, it's kind of hard to tell on camera, and also I have like dark spots and hyperpigmentation, all that stuff, but you can usually see a line here of where the mask's been, and it's usually a lighter shade where the mask has been, or it's a little bit brighter, toned up, as a lot of people will refer to it as. So it did okay, not as drastic as I sometimes see, and the glow is there, but I think that's mostly just from the hydration, the wateriness. So I would chalk it up as being a regular old hydrating mask, which is good. It's nice to have that hydration, but I wouldn't lean on it or really point to it as like, oh, that's your go-to brightening sheet mask. So, and that's been kind of the theme with the Ouzo Bear masks, is even though they each say they're doing something different, they all just pretty much offer hydration, and that's really about it. So that's kind of my little mini review on that set. But we're moving right into my serum step. That's the next step in my routine. And right now I'm using the I'm from Honey Serum. This was actually a product that was sent to me to do a review by Wish Trend. It's my first kind of affiliate PR product, what have you. And so far, I'm actually happy. I was concerned when they, so I just did one pump and you just kind of just do little dabs. I've noticed on some reviews, people saying like, oh, there's, I have to use so much of it to get a good layer. But the reason I was skeptical about them recommending this product to me. Basically, I just sent them an email saying, here's kind of some of the skincare concerns I have. And then they send you your first product based on what they think you should use. And so I talked to them about my texture irregularities. I talked to them about always striving to have that like really nice glow. And sometimes my skin can look a little dull, especially in the AM. So just some help with that. And so they, retaining hydration for the purpose of balancing my oil production. And so they suggested this to me and I was like, okay. And I looked in the ingredients list, and when I first started a K-beauty routine, I was super scared of silicones, and the Drunk Elephant kind of branding pushed me in that direction too, where it's like, all these things are evil. So I was really worried about this serum because it is like every silicone under the sun, along with some really great ingredients. You have honey extract, royal jelly, propolis, a lot of other ingredients that will help to hydrate and nourish the skin. But over time, I've learned that silicones are a totally decent and acceptable emollient hydration locking ingredient. They hold hydration to the skin. There's actually not that much clinical evidence to show that they're super comedogenic. Of course, anything can be potentially pore clogging and potentially irritating. Water can be irritating to some people. So that's, I've kind of changed my tune, but I was still worried because there are products that I've used in the past that contain silicones that did give me like little random spot breakouts, like little whiteheads would just come up, and I always attributed that to the silicone. So this is the first product that has this much in it that I was like, oh, uh-oh. I mean, even though it still has 30% of that honey complex, so royal jelly, propolis, there's still a lot of silicone in here. But the upside to that is it gives you this incredible slip. Like I used just a single pump, I got my whole giant face, and it still has that like really satin kind of finish. You get that nice kind of reflective glow from a product like that, not only because of the honey and those types of things, but the silicone. And I also think this might be a really great serum in the AM for makeup wearers because it gives you that kind of satin, soft, kind of primer finish. And I have been using this for a little over a week now. Haven't seen any breakouts, haven't seen anything that concerns me, but what I have noticed is I get that more intense K-beauty glow, especially when I put my moisturizers and sunscreens on top, and my skin doesn't feel like it dries out as much throughout the day. So especially since I stopped using the Then I Met You essence, which was such an awesome hydrator for me, I was like, oh no, my skin's gonna be like, help, we need more polyglumatic acid. But I haven't experienced that, luckily. So I think this serum's helping to keep the hydration train and the locking in train going. So very good there. I still have about 3 weeks to go with it, so we shall see how it goes. And then the last product that I'm gonna put on is my retinol. The last time I will be using this particular retinol for quite some time. It's hard to focus in, but this is the Glow Recipe Avocado Melt Retinol Sleeping Mask. Let me get a spoon. A clean spoon for this one. Here we go, okay. So I have a bowl of all the spoons, like the little spoons that they give you with products in my closet. And so as I use one, I set it aside, and then once I've used them all, I go through and disinfect them all with alcohol and kind of rinse them a little, and then they go back in the bowl. So I only use them one time. So this is a product that I have been using for a few weeks now. I feel like I'm pretty darn close to putting together a review for it, but I'm gonna stop using it. Tonight's the last night, so I can start the Curology tretinoin tomorrow. And I didn't go completely cold turkey and leave like a bunch of gap between them because in my head, I'm thinking, okay, it'll be smart to keep some sort of retinol product on my skin. That way, maybe that transition period into the tretinoin won't be as potentially irritating or drastic in results as far as poor results, I guess, or that purging that you get. So I just take a decent sized dollop of this sleeping mask. It has encapsulated retinol, which is supposed to release over time and be a little bit more gentle for the skin than just slapping on retinol. Also, it has avocado oil, I think, extract. I think it might actually have the actual flesh of avocado. And so far I'm liking it. I was actually a little bit peeved that I no longer see the original avocado sleeping mask on the Glow recipe site. I think they phased it out and now this is the only one. So you can only do retinol or nothing at all. And I really liked the old version with no retinol. It was probably the first night cream that didn't make me feel broken out or make my skin feel too heavy or like it was suffocating in a bunch of oil, and I didn't have that greasiness. It was just a super nice moisturizer, so much so that I even started using it in the AM. So it was my daytime and nighttime moisturizer. It was just so nice to use. It left my skin buttery smooth, gave me a really nice glow. And I opened this one up for the first time and I was like, oh no, 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 no. You are a different color, you smell different, what did they do? And so I put off using this for so long because I was like disgruntled about it. But it's good. It's not the same. The consistency is a little bit thicker. It doesn't leave you with as much of that. The other one left me with a sheen, but it wasn't greasy, if that makes sense. This is a little bit more of a subdued finish, which probably appeals to more people. And this really, even though it's not as heavy, it hydrates my skin or locks everything in really nicely and leaves my skin feeling super soft. And I do think that the retinol might actually be effective in the sense that it keeps my skin feeling a little bit smooth. And some of my more intense texture irregularities, I still have a lot of bumps, especially along my jawline, all that stuff. Like, that's why I'm gonna try Curology, but this did help kind of keep me in maintenance mode. It wasn't strong enough, I think, to like totally resurface and like kind of kickstart cell regeneration, all in, provide anti-aging and anti-acne benefits that something like Differin or tretinoin will provide. But as a retinol compared to maybe like the 0.5% retinol from The Ordinary or some of those kind of like run-of-the-mill retinol products, I think it falls right in line with those, but you have the added benefit of the avocado, which is super nourishing, and the hydration and all of that stuff that comes along with this sleeping mask. I'll come back to it someday when I'm, maybe when maybe I'll do tretinoin for who knows how long, 6 months or so, and then maybe come back to this just to see if I notice that my skin starts to regress or change. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to get this back into my routine because tretinoin's kind of one of those things where you start it and you kind of have to use it for a long time. So I'm happy with this. I don't quite know if I'm ready yet to put a full review together, which is why I want to hold off. I worry that it'll be a long time before I get back to this. So who knows, maybe I'll just do like a little mini review or first impressions or put a disclaimer that I've only used it for 2.5, 3 weeks. So it's hard to say, and just say how it feels, those types of things, but not really talk about long-term benefit. But I didn't react poorly to it. The retinol didn't cause me any sort of irritation. And from what I could see, it kept things moving and grooving from the last retinol I was using, which was from Mad Hippie. So that's what I have to say about that. So that's the whole evening skincare routine in its entirety. It's actually shorter than it normally is, but I had a lot to say because this is almost like my last meal farewell routine before I go into full like stripped down, just, I'm thinking of pulling out the honey serum. It just depends on how my skin reacts, but I'm thinking of even just cutting it down to cleanse my skin, Curology, and then my AM lotion that doesn't have retinol in it. I can use that AM and PM. So just a 3-step routine. I'm hoping that my skin reacts well or well enough that I feel comfortable adding like a nice hydrating toner, keeping the serum in, keeping the essence in, those types of things. But who knows? I'm absolutely willing to go bare bones just to make the tretinoin experience and journey as successful and as easy as possible. So there's that. I'm going to be doing a separate review or a separate video. I'll probably be in the same stuff because I'm going to do it tonight, but it's its whole thing. But stay tuned and please be on the lookout for a review I'm like, oh, hello. I'm doing a little gua sha massage. I've been doing these off and on for a month or so now. And this is another thing I'm going to put on hold. I don't want to add any friction or extra physical touch to my skin while I'm on tretinoin, at least for, like I said, the first month, couple months, 3 months. So this will be the last time I get to enjoy my super relaxing gua sha massage. So I'm going to do a separate video just going through that. And then something else I just want to plug is a purchase that I made. I don't know where else I would talk about this, but these are the Aromatica body sprays. They're essential oil-based body mists. These are discontinued, and so they won't have them. They still have them on the Aromatica site for full price, but it says like leaving soon. So these are $19 a pop. There's a fourth version that I wasn't able to get my hands on, but they're $19 a pop on the Aromatica site. However, if you purchase them through, I'll include the links for everything you've seen tonight. If you click through Amazon, the Aromatica distributor for these is trying to clear these out. So I think I got one of them for like $5 something cents, one of them for $6, and one of them for $7. And they're usually 19 a pop. And I am loving every single one of these scents. You have geranium and palmarosa, which has kind of a slight floral scent, but it's mostly like a clean citrus. Then you have the mandarin, and is that elemi? This is much more citrusy, very much on kind of like the clove citrus peel side. And then you have sandalwood and pine, which is a very woodsy scent. And there's one other one, but I can't find it on Amazon, and I'm not really looking to pay full price. In fact, I've only used these a few times as a body spray, but I've been using them a few times a day as a room spray. They make excellent room sprays. Add them to a diffuser because it's mainly essential oil based. There's some alcohol in here too. Pillow spray, putting it on, a blanket. Sometimes I'll just kind of spray it near the fan just to kind of diffuse it. And they are just so good. They last quite a while as a room scent as well. And so I bought these 3, loved them each. So I got another set, one of each, because they're just, $5-6 a pop. And even as a room spray, I've been using them a few times a day, and I'm not really burning through them that fast. Like I probably could get a few weeks if I was using them as much as I am using them now in quarantine. But once I start going back to the office, these will last a lot longer, a few months a pop. But yeah, I probably get a month out of each one using them daily. So that's that. Aromatica, they're just called their essential body mists. So I'll leave the links, but pick them up while you can, because I think they're just trying to clear them out. So who knows how long they'll be available on Amazon. So that's that. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. This is such a long-winded video, just like all of my videos are, but I wanted to go through all of this with you before I jump into starting Curology, because that's going to be a whole different series of videos, and I'm going to change up my routine so much. So I wanted to share as much as I could of what I'm currently using in my happy, healthy skin, no tretinoin right now routine. So thanks again. And as always, stay glowing. Bye.